Hello, and welcome back to the channel. As you see here at the end of the 2025-26 season in our FC 25 Kit Quest career mode with Vicario and Tottenham Hotspur, the Tottenham Hotspur yellow goalkeeper kit that he wore when we won the Europa League. So stay right there. It's easier to just kind of quickly recap, how we did in the various competitions, kind of transfers, board goals, player stats, all the good stuff. So I guess let's start by going to here, and go to standings, because it's like the bulk of this, So let's check out how we did in the various competitions first. So as you can see here, somehow we, Spurs, as Ange said in his kind of Europa League trophy parade speech before he ended up getting sacked, he said season 3 better than season 2. And technically, I was playing Ange ball in this career mode, so technically you want to call that season 3 of Ange ball. And it was better than season 2, so we somehow won the league. So we got a Premier League title. Absolutely, I was not expecting that at all. But yeah, so we won the title here. It's to be finished with 83 points. So it's kind of like similar to last season IRL, where it's kind of like the points total, like compared to like years in the like past where Man City were like dominating the league. It's like not really like equivalent to their level of title, but because there was kind of like you look through like second through fifth, they're all kind of tightly compact there. Stuff it's just like the points total wasn't as high as it was previously. It has to be successful probably because for most of the season we were not in first. Liverpool was in first for like I'd probably say 35 or 36 weeks pretty much of the season, and we were like hovering around like the top 4 area, like second through fourth at various points in the season. And what was really interesting was like a lot of the time, like around then, was Brentford were like and Brighton. I'm pretty sure for like the first half of the season or so, were like in the top like 2 and 3 and 4. So it was kind of like Liverpool was at the top, and then you have like maybe like Brentford second, us third, and like Brighton fourth. But then eventually, kind of Arsenal kind of moved into the mix and even passed us because we had like numbers of the season. We started off pretty solid, tbh. Like we went 5 matches, 5 wins in a row to start the season, but we then lost to Bournemouth, and which was kind of like a precursor of things to come, I think, for me. But because that was a match I played, like I did the randomizer spot, I got play and could not find the back of the net to save my life. Their keeper was like unreal, and that kind of was a start of things to come per se. Because like October, that was like the end of September. October was not too great, and then November was kind of good, and December were kind of good again-ish for the most part. Then January was a horrible month, worst month of the season for us. We drew 0-0 to Fulham, which was that a match I played, or was that a match let's see. No, that was a match I got draw, so it was like the simulation with like the things moving around the screen stuff. That ended 0-0. We then in the first leg of the blah, 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 we'll get to that. Then we lost to Liverpool. We were in first. That's kind of like why I was like, there's no way we're going to win the title now. We just lost to Liverpool. We're going to be even further behind them. And then we got spanked by Newcastle 3-0. And then there were matches of their competitions we'll probably get into. But yeah, I was at like a really like down tick in form, like really bad down tick in form. So I was like just getting frustrated with playing and stuff. I was like I could not put the ball in the back of the net to save my like I was like as you can see kind of based on like our goals for and goals against was what 67 and 31. Like I was like for the most part pretty decent defensively in the matches I played, but I could not find the back of the net to save my life for like a portion of the season. So, yeah. But if you kind of yeah, so then like what kind of happened was around like match like so I think like yeah, so match week 36 I think we were still like kind of in second. We were kind of like a point or so behind or whatever, like 2 points behind maybe because what ended up happening was match week 37 we were matched up against Everton. And like we were behind I think a point like behind Liverpool, but they'd already played their match. So if we were 2 points behind her. So if we won our was it a point or 2 point? I don't know. We were behind. Yeah, we're a point behind them. So if we like drew our match, we would have went into the final day of the season. And we would have had to like basically match their results because we had the superior goal difference. Or if we won, we would have a 2 point buffer that would kind of give us a thing like better chances going into the final day. And we got a draw on that, so that's kind of again I do this like I sim the thing, and if like the other team scores, I go in and play and try to draw it up, and then hop back into the sim. So and Die scored for Everton, kind of like right like on the stroke of halftime, pretty much. I hopped in, kind of was able to in the second half respond relatively quickly with James Madison goal assisted by Sarr, then hop back into the sim. I was like, all right, I'll take a draw, because again we'll be at level on points, and kind of if I like win or whatever, like we'll be good to go, be level on points. And what had happening is Reggie, as they scored for us, we won the match, and we kind of took a 2 point lead into the final day. So we had I think 80 points. They had 78. So we just needed a draw because we finished with the draw. We'd finish with 81 points, and that'd be the max Liverpool could get. And because of our superior goal difference, we would win the title. So I went to that final day against Manchester City, which was like oof, big oof. And in that case, which I'm kind of probably glad considering what happens in a different match, I got slated to sim, so just like because it's the final, like I typically just do the quick sim thing where you go into like the menu at the beginning of the match, you just hit like go to the sim section, go to quick sim. But because like the title is on the line, I want the footage of the title. I do like this like the sim with the circles and stuff, but just don't touch anything. But I don't like I can't jump in and play. I can make substitutions and stuff, kind of like do whatever. Because I don't know, like the game will the game won't make substitutions for you if you do it like that. So like you have to make the subs yourself. So I was making like substitutions and stuff. And originally, what happened was we literally finished 0-0, finished in a 0-0 draw. So we then because of that won the title. And I like had like the footage from like that ceremony literally like on like my folder of big videos for this franchise mode. But then what happened is like this game is buggy as hell, man. There's a glitch. There's some sort of glitch that's like the title was literally like black, like the Premier League trophy was like mostly like black in color, not like silver. And like at the end of like the ceremony, like the thing where they kind of like take the little picture or whatever, and then like it kind of fades to black, and then like it'll pull up like the end of game menu, so you can look at the stats and stuff and do the match interview. Before that could happen, game crashed to at like the Xbox home. So I was like, come on, man, really? But luckily, like so then obviously I had to redo the match because like it didn't save because we hadn't gotten to the post-match menu and like exited out first. So I had to go back basically re-sim the match. And then this time when we resim the match, we ended up winning 2-0 with goals from Madison Kulusevski. So that kind of ended up being the so either way we would have won it. Like if we hadn't won the title, I would have lost the match on purpose or whatever. So like to keep the outcome the same that Liverpool won. Because we won the title, I just like I would have done the same thing, like done whatever. I guess because like the thing was I would have like just kind of treated it like a draw match to try and win the title that way. But we ended up winning the second go around because of the crash 2-0 with goals from Madison Kulusevski. So that's like the video from that will be, even though the video is pretty much like identical, I'll use that video instead because that's the kind of timeline that made it into this actual save file. Is that like 2-0 victory in the final day? That's how we finished with 83 points, and Liverpool drew and they finished with 79, which is kind of depressing. I'm pretty sure they were playing like freaking Fulham on the last day of the season. They like couldn't beat Fulham. Where is it? 24th of May. Yeah, they literally drew 1-0 with Fulham. Jesus, that's depressing. But again, I don't really know like what they had done like in the previous timeline. Like they could have like won their match and we also won our match. Like we drew and that was still enough. But like who knows because I never got that far because the game crashed. But yeah, so we won the Premier League. So obviously that means that you wanted a second trophy. So this career mode finished in 2 seasons this time. So it wasn't a 1 year wonder, it was a 2 season one. So that's pretty fun, kind of in the transfer market and stuff, which I'll get into. But if we change competitions here, that was the FA Cup. You kind of just saw a sneak preview there. But we start as we are a big like kind of Premier League club in round 3. And where are we? Here we go. We got Blackpool Football Club, and this is kind of like in our like badish period of the season. It's like that match fall we had like drawn 2-2 with Liverpool, in the previous matches. Drawn 2-2 with Liverpool, lost to Everton, drew 0-0 with Fulham, and then lost in a match in another competition. And then we got the FA Cup tie, we got play, and kind of we won 2-0, goals from Eberechi Eze and Matisse Tell. So we were able to kind of turn around our form a little bit there before we kind of went into really big crap form. But yes, round 3. Round 4 was kind of then like after like the really poor form I had shown. I keep doing this. Round 4. There we go. Where are we at? There we go. Round 4, though, this is where I kind of like after I'd like kind of taken a break, I kind of calm my thoughts and like did some like kind of research, learning, trying to figure out how to like be better at attacking in the game. Because obviously I was struggling to score was my main issue. Came back, I kind of had a good run of like could say matches here to try it out. Basically, so this FA Cup fourth round match was the first one. Back after my kind of really poor form, and we got a matchup with Southampton. I got play, and I kind of rotated heavily for that match. So we won 3-1 with goals from Tell, Bergvall, and Archie Gray. And I kind of win. Commons flanks, and we followed it up with matches against Norwich, and Burnley. So those are 2 easier matches that I was able to play also, and kind of got 2-0 victories in those in the league that kind of helped boost my confidence kind of in for the rest of the season where we went pretty much unbeaten except for a couple of matches, which we'll get into. But yes, we got Southampton in round 4. Round 5, or the round of 16, we got matched up against Newcastle, and that one, because we have a poor record, I got sim, so I quick simmed the match with like a pretty strong lineup because we were playing Premier League opposition. And I see it ended 3-3, and we went to pens, and Vicario did his thing, and he won 5-3 on pens. Goal scorers in the match were Dom Solanke, Johnson, again, ole, and James Maddison. Then round 6 were the quarterfinals. We got like one of the easier options. We got Ipswich Town, and we ended up simming that match as well. Because remember we like lost the first match against Ipswich last season, and so we won that though to 3-2. So a pretty tight contested match with Eze brace and goal from Decky to get matched up in the semifinals against the easier of the 2 opposite. Even both kind of were relatively easy because we potentially could have got Swansea or Leeds. We got Swansea City, played that match. I kind of was like falling back again, like my form kind of was starting to dip a little bit again at this point here. Well, this was just like a small dip because the match after that in the league that I played was against Bournemouth. I won 4-1. And I played that match, so it was a slight dip in form here. Against Swansea, I played a heavily rotated side. It was 0-0 all the way. I think it was like we got like I think it was like 4 minutes of added time at the end of the match, like the 90. We had a corner. Because you can't score with headers in this game off corners anymore for like whatever reason. Because like all of the team players were abusing like some mechanic in the game. They like nerfed headers because obviously Ultimate Team's the only thing that matters in this game. Not career mode. We're trying to like have fun, play like a realistic soccer match where you can score off a corner and stuff. So I basically did short corners the entire season. And so I did a short corner, got it. Manor Solomon's kind of the player that came short, passed it to him, kind of get him in the box. Like, heads up, eye open, looking for open man, pass it across the box, and lo and behold, it was a pass that ended up at the feet of Ashley Phillips. He is blasts a shot with his right foot into the kind of top right corner, and absolute scenes. We're going crazy. All the players go crazy. We win the match on the last kick of the match with an Ashley Phillips goal of all things. And it wasn't even a header because it was literally just a right foot smash into the top corner. And we beat Swansea 1-0 to go to the FA Cup final against our hated rivals Arsenal, which again we'll get into like more about Arsenal later. But we got into the FA Cup final against Arsenal. And as our recent record against the Scum is frankly terrible. Like our last 5 matches against them, so from the 2 games we played against them last season to like the 3 matches before that, we've really lost 4 of them and drew like the one, which I think was like their first Ange's first North London derby we drew like 2-2 or whatever back in like the kind of like that was like in that like first 10 games under Ange kind of area. So like I basically was like kind of I thought I was screwed here. Oh, excuse me. And we got to the final and I got Sim, so again I kind of because I wanted the trophy presentation stuff. Kind of did like the sim where you could see like the little circles moving around the screen and stuff, but like I couldn't jump into the match and do anything. But I could make subs and stuff because this game will make the subs for you. And we won 1-0 with a Dom Solanke goal. I think it was around like the 40th minute, and he got injured actually. I'm pretty sure during that him and Adogi got short 5-day injuries during that match also. But he scored in like the 40th minute, got injured I think like as he scored. So David Raya probably pulled like a dirty and took him out. And we won 1-0, so we beat the Scum in the FA Cup final. To kind of basically at the time basically was like our well, technically we'll get into that, but our kind of big trophies that would have guaranteed that this is 2-season winning the FA Cup, which is pretty hype. So yeah. So that's the FA Cup. So we go now to the Carabao Cup. Let's go. I think we start in round 3 because this time we were in Europe. I'm not mistaken. Yes, we started in round 3. We got matchup against Luton Town in that first one. And let's see, I'm guessing I got a draw, so I kind of pulled it up, blah, blah, blah. And we got 2 goals from Eze to win the match, 2-1. Then move on to round 4. Round 4, we got QPR. Played that match. This is kind of when my form was kind of dipping and stuff, had trouble to score. Won the match 1-0 to Matisse Tell goal with an assist from Lucas Bergvall. And then the quarterfinals, we got a matchup against Southampton. And we won that match 2-0, which I played. Right, yeah, I played it. 2 goals from Manor Solomon, 2 assists from Matisse Tell. And the semifinals, this is where our form really hit the crap. And we got a matchup against the Scum in the semifinals of the Carabao Cup. And first leg I simmed, which we lost 1-2 with a goal. We had a goal from Eze. We were down 1-2. Second leg was like when my form really was like at its lowest. And when I got draw, so basically because we were like it's like an aggregate kind of thing, I went into the match and started playing it to try and level it up at 2 goals apiece on aggregate, and then let the match kind of play itself out after that. And I could not find the back of the frickin' net. Like David Raya, however you pronounce it, was like stopping everything, like unrealistically so. IMO, because we literally had, in terms of the match, it was 50% possession. We had 9 shots to their 3, and one of their 3 shots was like this stupid I passed it out of the back of Vicario, not to who I wanted to pass it to, so it ended up feed Vicario at I think it was Van de Ven. He was basically trapped, he couldn't get the ball out. They stole it. And they did some stupid ass move, and I think it was Miguel Marino or some crap, scored a volley or something from outside the box, and scored. And I was just that was I was freaking pissed at the end of that match. One, because that was just so annoying. I was pummeling them in the attacking third and couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, and they score off of that kind of crap. And it's Arsenal. I was not happy. So that's when I kind of watched an episode of Death Note, kind of calmed down a little bit, ate some lunch, and then kind of did some research on kind of how to attack better to potentially kind of improve my results, which kind of worked following that. But yeah, so that was unfortunately lost the semifinals. And the final was 2 pieces of scum. It was Arsenal and Chelsea beat the bigger scum 2-1 to win the Carabao Cup. So boo-hoo to you, Arsenal. So that's kind of 3 competitions we were in together. They got Zippo trophies. We got 2. So, where are the trophies at, Mikel Arteta? This is preseason crap. Doesn't matter. This is the Super Cup. So we got Man City in the Super Cup. And let's see, what do we get here? We got play. So this is again kind of where my poor form was really kind of showing. Which I think again my poor form I think is kind of connecting me putting a lot of pressure on myself to win matches. This is like a cup, basically a final. The way Super Cup we have to win. So I put a lot of pressure on myself, and then the pressure doesn't help me play. It makes me just more stressed when things don't work out and stuff. Rather than be I'll have another opportunity to get an attack and score. I'm shoot. I get all stressed and stuff. It doesn't help me out. So it went 0-0 after 90 minutes. Went to pens, and Vicario was a freaking wall in the penalty shootout. UCB won 3-1 on pens. So basically, like, I'd say the other thing, like my down ticket form was kind of stupid because we literally won a trophy just like the first match of the season. So no matter what, this is a 2-season wonder. But I was stressing myself out and crap. But yeah, so we won 3-1 on pens against Man City in the Super Cup. So now if we go, I think next is going to be the Champions League. So we go to the league phase. As you see, we finished sixth in the league phase with 16 points. So that was kind of going to be, beat Hoffenheim 2-0, beat Dynamo Kiev 3-1, lost to Juve 3-1. Uh, drew with Young Boys. That's kind of where my form was also kind of not great. 1-1. Beat Olympiacos 1-0. Beat Atletico Madrid 3-1, and like a kind of surprising, but good bit of play in my like kind of area of poor form. And then we beat Marseille 2-0. And then where my form, like really even before the Arsenal match, my form really hit the crapper was the last game of the league phase against PSG. I played that match and lost 4-0, and I was not having it. I was not playing well at all. And I was just getting extremely like that was a different. It was a different kind of playing bad too compared to like. This is also kind of why I like ended up kind of like trying to like research to figure out how to attack better, just because I literally couldn't. One, I couldn't really get the ball like at all. I had like 43% possession. They had 10 shots to my one shot the entire match, and like absolutely pounded me 4-0. So I was not having it then. So yeah, that was kind of that. In the league phase ended up finishing sixth. We skipped the playoff, went straight to the round of 16, where we got matched up against Porto, and then I ended up playing both these matches because the only time we've played Porto was like either we won and drew against them, and our 2 times we played against them in the past. I ended up getting play for both. So first leg we won 3-0 with goals from Solanke, Sarr, and Madison, and the second leg made it 5-0 in aggregate, then kind of sat back with goals from Eze and Tell. Quarterfinals, we got matched up against fake Inter Milan. First, again, there we literally only played them I think once, and we beat them in that match. And it was in like the 60s. It was like way back in the day. So I played both those matches. Kind of my form was improving. We won 2-1 the first leg, Solanke and Eze goals. 3-1 the second leg with goals from Decky, Madison, and Johnson. Again, ole ole. And made it to the semifinals where we got matched up against freaking Arsenal again. So we literally played Arsenal in this season. We played them 2 times in the league, 2 times in the Carabao Cup semifinal where we lost to them, the FA Cup final, and then 2 legs of the semifinal of the Champions League. So we played them 7 times in a single season, which is just absolutely insane. But again, I got really lucky again because our form against Arsenal is really bad. I ended up, I think, later straight up quick simming both these matches. So the first leg we won 1-0 with a goal from Johnson again, ole ole, to give us a lead heading into the Emirates in the second leg, which we then lost that match 2-1 after extra time. But because the aggregate was 2-2, we went to pens, and Vicario again did his thing, and we won on pens 5-3 to knock out Arsenal. So we played Arsenal 7 times across 4 different competitions, and we ended up copping 2 trophies from those competitions, the FA Cup and the league, and Arsenal got 0 trophies. So absolutely glorious that that happened. We met them in 2 semifinals, a final, and then in the league, and we got 2 trophies from it. They got Zippo trophies from it. Absolutely amazing stuff. As you see that we get matchup against Man City in the final, and this is where my kind of idea of the reason I play bad in certain matches is because the pressure gets to me. Is because I was on a decent run of form, playing matches, and then we get to the Champions League final. I spin the thing, I get play. All right, so I'm like, all right, sweet, we're gonna do the treble. But I'm like, all right, we gotta do the treble. We gotta do the treble. And again, I could not. Shots was 11-6, so I was like dominating the match. And then we had 1-on-ones with Madison, one with Tell, and they both turned into prime Timo Werner and blasted the shots wide on 1-on-ones. And I was just like, what the hell? When we got to pens, I was just like, the pens weren't even that bad. They were like going to the corners, like whatever side, but like the Ederson guessed correctly, and we lost 4-2 on pens. So yeah, we ended up with 3 trophies this season: the Super Cup, FA Cup, and the league. But we could have had more potentially because I had opportunities myself to like influence the outcomes of the Carabao Cup and the Champions League, but failed. So yeah, pretty solid season. It took us a lot longer than I thought because we were in so many competitions and we kind of went pretty far in all of them. So yeah, it took a longer than I thought. I check out the other competitions. We got Europa League was Ajax beating Chelsea on pens in the final, and then City beating not City, United beating Shakhtar. So that's kind of that. So I guess the next kind of business we can do, I guess, objectives here because they're right next to us here on the screen. So we did pretty solid. Domestic success, win the league title. We won the title. FA Cup, win the cup. We won the cup. It's the boom boom. Champions League, they wanted us to reach the final, which we did. We could have won, but we reached the final at least. Youth development, they wanted us to sign one Youth Academy defender. I signed like a couple, I'm pretty sure. And then this one's signed 3 players younger than 20 years old, but potential greater than the average overall rating of players currently in the same position. So typically I kind of ignore those ones, but I was like, you know what? Spurs have been doing a lot of, obviously buying like youngsters and kind of like blowing them out, developing them, and potentially, hopefully, maybe in the future, they're either going to be a part of our like super team in like 2029, or we're gonna like sell them on for profit, hopefully. So who did I end up bringing in? I brought in 3. I just went and rated Udinese's like basically like kind of youngsters. So I got the striker Iker Bravo from Udinese for 2.5 mil with a 13% sell-on clause. I ended up loaning him out immediately after. Then I also went and got Damian Pizarro from Udinese, the striker from Udinese, who was 20 for 3.65 million, loaned him out. And the most expensive one in the group was Simone Pafundi. He is like a midfielder for 6.3 million, and he was like the 19-year-old highest rating of the bunch. And I ended up keeping him around to be James Madison's backup, so he actually played a lot. But going into the season, those players I didn't think I was going to buy at all, but because of this board goal, I kind of matched up with our kind of transfer strategy, and I was able to kind of bring in some players, and one actually contributed to our season. So we did that, three completing that objective. Brand exposure, signed one veteran player. So the only like kind of area in the squad that really was like open, because like Pafundi's spot was going to go to Alfie Devine, but then I brought in Pafundi and like sent Alfie on loan. So the only spot in the squad that we had like an opening for to sell, buy a player, there was a player I had in mind, but couldn't buy him because it didn't fit this time one veteran player. I think it was a backup to Mickey Van de Ven. And so what I ended up doing was because there weren't really any ones from like the Italian clubs that Vicario had played for that were like of the requisite quality. I went and brought back in Spurs legend Clement Longley from Barcelona for 8.6 million to be Mickey Van de Ven's backup, and he kind of nicely like completed the objective because in the past I think there's been problems where like it's bugged and you had to like sign like a really high overall one, but they seem to have fixed that in this game. So completed that objective. Then 5 games without defeat. We apparently went on a 25 match unbeaten run. Is that true? 24, 6 fixtures. I don't know if we went on a 25 match streak, but we definitely went like a couple of long streaks unbeaten throughout the season. I don't know if we got 25 in a row, but we probably went we won 25 matches in the league. I'm pretty sure, but then financial was make profit from use sales, which I did pretty easily. So that's board objectives and stuff. So that's kind of that. So the last kind of thing is transfers and then player stats. Let's go to notifications, I guess. We can go to my inbox. Now to archive here. So if you scroll to the bottom. Another interesting thing that this season was very impacted by injuries. We had a lot of injuries this season. Like if we go to my thing. Like Eze got injured in a preseason match and was out for like 2 months. Utogi and Solomon got injured like 4th match of the season, out for 3 months each. Brendan Johnson got injured and was out for a month. He then returned. Decky sprained his knee at one point, was out for a month. Johnson not like a little while after returning sprains his ankle, was out a month again. Then Wilson Odebear was out for like the last kind of 4 weeks of the season and stuff. We had like a bunch of like kind of smaller like week-long injuries or so to various players as well. So we had a very injury-impacted season. But in terms of transfers, as you can see here, user development thing, blah blah blah. That was like me signing the youngsters, like the Bravo, Pafuni, and Pizarro. Mikey Moore, I ended up loaning out on 1-year move to Wolves. Christian Romero sold him to Liverpool for 66 mil. Will Lancashire loaned out to Darmstadt in Germany. Veliz loaned out to Crystal Palace. And then Bravo, who I had bought in, loaned out to Ipswich. Alfie Devine to Girona. Richie, we sold him to Brighton for 20 mil. Bizarre, we loaned to Getafe. Yang-Min Hook, 1-year loan to Juve. George Abbott sold him to Cologne in Germany for 1.85. Sold Højbjerg to Valencia for 19.5. Vicario did get approached by Brighton. Like, he had a release clause in his contract, so I ended up signing him to a new deal. Matthew Craig sold to Swansea for 1.9. Josh Healy to that club for 1.3. Signed the youth player. Brian Healy agreed to pre-contract with Forest. And then I was kind of selling players that we want to manage the month for. We also sold, I guess, I don't know, he must have gotten deleted. We also sold Bentancur to Milan for 23 mil. That was our transfer business. So kind of good stuff. So then last, not least here, we're going to look at the squad, kind of look at stats and stuff. Yeah, so Vicario we played an absolute ton of matches. We went pretty much almost as far as you can get in every competition. Had 22 clean sheets in all competitions, basically 18 if you don't include 2 friendlies. And had an assist in the league. So excellent season from him. Circuit, I see, Uzogi had that 3-month injury, so Circuit ended up playing a lot of matches. They both had good seasons. Long way, Radu, Mickey had a good season. Ashley Phillips has 1 goal, led us to the FA Cup final. Haltizu, Pedro, and Spence had good seasons. Sarr and Gray, pretty good as well. And Brian Hill played a couple of matches when we had the peak of injury crisis where we had like Solomon out and Johnson out and stuff. He played a decent amount, had a good season. Manor Solomon, good season as well. James Madison, one of our captain, good season in the Prem. Lucas, good season. And Eze again, kind of carrying from the left wing. Decky 8 and 8, pretty solid stuff. Here's Bafundi. He had a pretty decent season, assist in the Champions League and a goal and assist in the league, so pretty solid stuff from him. Nelson Odebear, he's still injured. Was injured a lot and stuff. 2 goals, 3 assists. Brennan Johnson, again, ole. 6 goals, 4 assists in all comps. And then Big Dom, 22 goals, 11 assists in all competitions. And here's like the 2 guys we bought in from Udinese. They're like their loans. They both improved a decent amount, which is pretty solid. And then Matisse Tell, pretty solid return as well. 19 goals, 10 assists, and 7 less matches in Slank is a pretty solid return for him. And you see Veliz had a decent loan at Crystal Palace. But yes, that's kind of everything here. Now we've seen we did I guess a treble of sorts because we had the Super Cup, the FA Cup, and the League on top of our Europa League from last season. So this is a successful 2-season Kit Quest career mode with Vicario here in this unfortunate. The pattern on the goalkeeper is cool. We got like the crappiest color. We got yellow, but it is what it is. So right, I'm like getting it done up to mimic the FA Cup finals with the club font and like all that kind of stuff, the patches and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be fun. But yeah, please stop these from us. So next up on the channel should be a jersey quest, first one in a while. Who it is and whatnot, I don't know yet. I'm actually like after I finish recording and editing this video and stuff, I'm gonna kind of figure out who the jersey quest is gonna be. But yeah, so thank you very much for checking this out, this longer video out, and hopefully you check out the next series on the channel as well. Thank you.
And the chance has been spurned. The penalty saved. And now it truly is final. And we see the 2 sides of sport when the biggest prizes are decided. Such contrasting scenes.
Yeah, what a dramatic way to win. I think we can just about take a breath now. A brilliant achievement, though, and it's thoroughly deserved.
Well, they're not going to forget this for a long, long time. A proud moment for everyone involved with the club. And on the other side, well, in time they'll use this as a point of motivation. They've got this far, but it hurts without that one last step.
Yeah, it does, and you can see the difference in emotions from both teams. You've got to feel for them losing this way, but they're being respectful, which is great to see.
The celebrations in full swing. This is going to be some night. Well, now the players gather their thoughts. The handshakes begin, and they go up to receive their prizes.
Well, the hard work and the dedication, it makes it all worthwhile for moments like this.
There will be so many emotions running through the heads of all of these players. And now the big moment, the trophy lift itself.
Oh, just listen to that atmosphere. Look how much the players are enjoying it.
One more time. I really don't think they want this moment to end. This is why they play the game. Get the cameras ready, because the celebrations are getting into full swing now.
They are, and this is what brings teams together. You can't beat moments like this.
Put the ribbons on the trophy.
Yeah, you've got to feel for any team to lose at this stage, but it's about performing in those big pressure moments, and that's exactly what they did. They thoroughly deserve this.
Disappointment on one side is mirrored by wonderful scenes of celebration. All those tired legs are forgotten now.
Oh, you've got to enjoy every second. Just take it all in, because it's going to pass so quickly.
Well, those on the podium are already dancing in celebration as the rest of the players come up one by one, with the captain last in line, eyes on that trophy.
Well, they've really worked hard for this, haven't they? And this is their moment.
And after receiving congratulations, it is time to lift the trophy. And now the big moment, the trophy lift itself.
They played well, they deserve it. Now they can enjoy this moment. I know the fans certainly will.
And these are the moments that are special in the career of every player. The sights and sounds of celebration. It's an absolute privilege to be here to see this.
Oh, it is, and the fans absolutely make it, don't they? You can just see how much that they're enjoying it as well.
It's a lovely touch from the players to take the trophy over to the supporters and share this moment with them.
Oh, it is, and you can see that they're really into the celebrations as well.
Well, you've been here, Sue. You know what it feels like to be on a winning team.
Yeah, and these are pictures that will live long into the memory. It's great to look back on.
Being crowned.
Well, if you win the league, Derek, you've been the best team, and they certainly have been. And what great scenes we're seeing. Just look at the joy down there. They fully deserve this. They've been magnificent.
The goal to be the best team in the league, and they've hit the target.
Well, they certainly have. They've been consistent, they've been relentless, they've been outstanding.
Yeah, you can see what it means to this tight-knit team. Real solidarity. And now they get ready for the photographs that will be appearing in the newspapers, on the internet and on social media in the hours ahead.
And they will cherish these photos for years to come.